Hi everyone, Dorota Palicka, international nail artist and educator here, and today I want to show you all different techniques, or actually best techniques, to achieve a beautiful ombre nails. Have a preview of it in here. This is a technique which you need to know how to achieve this look because it will make your life much easier. So let's start. This is the video, guys, which you need to save, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the theory first before we move on into the easiest way how to do the ombre. And the main thing is we want to do it on the matte surface. So if you would do it on the client, you would, on the natural nails, you would do a base gel polish, like say example in a white color, but it can be also done in a nude color. It would work as well. White makes the things to pick out a little bit more, so ideally you want this white background. Then apply the top coat and buff it to surface, so that's on the natural nails. On the extensions, you will just build up the extensions, and you can go straight away into the extensions I'll build up in a natural color. That will work absolutely fine as well. So the next step is to prepare the sponges, and I've got some sponge in here. We've got them available on the website, and they are fantastic. They are a makeup sponge, but some are better, some are worse. So I'm going to cut this makeup sponge into smaller pieces. So first of all, it saves me the material. I don't have to have as many, and also I've got a nice and fresh cut in here. This is really important to have a nice and fresh cut. You wouldn't use those slidey surface because it wouldn't work. So this is really important step. Another thing is you could use like an ombre brushes. They quite not bad, but I think it's pretty time consuming to create that. Using the brushes from the gel polish can be quite consuming as well. The easiest way to do the ombre is use the actual sponge, and I'm going to quickly show you some examples of it. So we are going to paint some yellow color on the top, and that is at 240. And then the next color which we'll use is a 239, which is a nice pastel orange. I love actually that color so much. And then the pink. Okay, so the color combinations is pretty important, how you pick up the colors as well. Now, when we're doing the sponging, the main issues someone might have is, first of all, how would you do it on the short nails without touching the nail folds? So I'm going to show you that. The sponge is clean on this side and is clean on the other side. This is the only area where we're going to make our sponge pigmented with the gel. And what you're gonna do is you touch, so here is your client nail, here is a finger, so you are going to touch it with the clean side of the sponge, the skin, and then you go and do like this to blend those corners without applying it on the client's skin. Okay, at the cuticle you hold the sponge at this angle, and same on this side. You cannot go like this because you've got product there, so you will touch client's skin. You go with the edge of the sponge like this, clean edge, and this is okay to touch the client's nail folds because there is no product, and then you just blend it. Okay, but now let's do it in a speedy work. So normally I wouldn't worry that much. I would start blending, and if we tapping like this, I have created lots of air bubbles. Okay, you don't want to create lots of air bubbles. You need to kind of massage it a little bit. So see, I'm kind of trying to smooth out those air bubbles by massaging my product, and you can see it already looks much better. So we are kind of massaging, so we're tapping, but we massaging the product as well. And look what an amazing, absolutely fantastic ombre we can create in a matter of the seconds. Like really, if your gel polishes aren't really pigmented, or you want to have the effect more intense, what would you do, guys, is use a clear acrylic powder. So I'm just using a normal clear acrylic powder, and you would just sprinkle it over it. Okay, so let's sprinkle it. And what will happen is, like, tap to remove the excess. The biggest problem when we're sponging is the sponge absorbs so much gel polish that we might not get a nice coverage. And this is the biggest issue. So what the acrylic does is it will help you get a much more pigmented results because it creates matte surface where the gel polish will stay in on the nail rather than on the sponge. Okay, let's do another color combination, because I think depending on the colors we choose, we can get a different result. So I have choose 237, and then we are also going to use 200, which is a sugar rush. This is a really nice purple, absolutely amazing. And then a 204, no, not 40, 200, where I've got my dark purple here, 242, like a very dark one. When you picking up your color choice, guys, this is very crucial. You wouldn't pick up maybe purple and green, because purple and green, when you mix them together, it could create kind of brown color. I think so. It will create the brown color. Kind of, yeah. let me actually do the test. But green and a purple, what will happen if we mix it both together? Yeah, this is a color which we will create. So it's not a nice color, you know, like a kind of like a dark purple, grayish, brownish color.
Actually, they will be more darker than the.
It will be much darker in the middle. Like, no, it wouldn't look nice. Ideally, you want to pick up the colors which will create a new color. So if we mix, say, example, pink and yellow, we receive orange. This is a perfect combination, okay? So this way the ombre is going to be much nicer as well. So there's a little bit of the color theory into that as well. So let me do this one. And I actually got similar color combination, slightly different. No, I don't. I've got completely different color combination. So what I'm doing is I'm picking up fresh sponge, remove the fluff, and we are going to blend that with the fresh sponge. I quite do like to use the tweezers, guys, for it as well, because I feel like you don't play with the gel polishes, and you know, we as nail technicians don't want to get too exposed to the product. So look what I'm doing. I'm going up and down, and on the sides up and down. So I done my sides first, so I don't have to tap as many times on my sides to don't touch the client nail folds. And then we are going to blend it, those beautiful ombre. That's a nice one too. Place our sponge in here, sprinkle with the acrylic powder. So this is a really good color combination as well. Another one to save. And I think once you've got those color combinations saved, it is easier to choose them. Let me clean this. So after it's cured, what I'm doing now, I'm taking the dust brush and I'm removing any fluff bits and pieces which might be on that tip. Actually, I have bring it more with my brush than I had. So just remove those fluff. It's fault of my brush because it has those wee bits and pieces stuck in there. So like, make sure you use the clean brush when you're cleaning, because you can actually bring those bits and pieces when you cleaning the tip and when you want to make it nicer. Okay. Yes, because there is a rough surface on the tip and it's easier to get those dirty particles attached. So the next thing is we are grabbing the sponge, the same one which we have used before. Okay, and what you could do it is you could reapply the gel polish on the actual tip, and I'm going to do it only in the case of those yellow one. So drop of the yellow, drop of the orange. You don't have to be precise, like you can really slap it on right in the middle because your sponge is going to absorb it more product. Okay, so my sponge is absorbing more product, and then start dabbing in. Because we've got this matte surface, you can see it how much better pigmentation we've got than now. If you've got some bits and pieces on the sponge, clean it again on your form, but look how pigmented it is only with the 2 layers. Like 2 layers are making the job. Remove those fluffy bits and pieces. So that's the ones which I have attached it on the brush. I'm just cleaning it out from my tip. We don't want that in there. Clean the sponge. And we've got a nice ombre on this one. Give it a cure. We don't have to sprinkle it with the acrylic anymore. And the other one, I'm going to clean my brush first, remove anything which might be on it, and then remove the excess so we don't have the mistake which we did in the first one. And you can see the tip is nice and clean. And I'm going to grab these colors here because that's what we have used it. So some blue, the purple one, and then the other purple. So once you know what you need to watch for, this is actually much easier. Tap gently so you remove any kind of particles of the dust which might be on the sponge, and then quickly blend it out, the ombre. And I'm doing up and down, up and down. What I love about this technique, guys, is that you can use like even 5-6 different colors on one tip and create an absolutely amazing blending. Okay, cook it in. I'm going to show you now without of all these disturbs, because when I talk and when I show like what to watch for when we do mistakes, things takes much longer. So let's do now the... I actually love those yellow one, but I will swap the colors. So the yellow goes on the bottom, then the orange goes in here, and then the pinks goes on the top. Since I had the sponge which had the same color, I'm going to use the same sponge with this difference. That's the sponge, I will have to use it upside down. Okay, so my sponge needs to be placed like this. And then I'm going to show you those nice and quick work. So up and down, up and down, up and down. Get rid of the fluff. That's it. It has been pressed into the form, back of the form. You could also use the sellotape, and this looks amazing, like just even in a one layer, to be honest. Like I quite like it so much even in a one layer, but we are going to make it more intense. Watch when you're working with the acrylic powder, because it's powder which is made of the tiny wee balls. Things tend to slide on it. Actually, it's quite interesting how the acrylic is made, because it's made out of the monomer as well. Not sure if you guys knew that. I also want to use those turquoise color. So let's do yellow, turquoise, oh wow, and the blue. We could do also a purple on the bottom. Actually, I'm going to do it, I should do it thinner. But let's do it even this many colors. So I need a clean sponge for that, which I actually don't have it. I do have it. There we are. So I've got another piece of sponge in here, which I'm going to cut. So there we are. Actually used like this. So a fresh cut done. Remove bits and pieces. And then let's start blending. So this one is quite easy because it's exactly the size of the actual tip, and I usually try to cut the sponge to the size of the client nail. That's an amazing result, guys, like absolutely fantastic color combination. Looks so pretty, so sprinkle it. Remove the excess. Finish off this one. And another thing which I want to show you guys when we're doing this type of ombre is that we can easily take the product which we've got on the sponge. I didn't apply any fresh one, and we can just go like this and use the product which you already had on your sponge to finish your ombre. Because of the acrylic, the nail is really nicely drinking this gel polish which you had on your sponge, rather than staying on the sponge. Okay, so let me finish the other ones. This one is finished, ready for a top coat. And when we put the top coat, things looks even prettier. This one is actually ready as well. Yeah, so let's top coat it, all our work. Cameraman just passed me another top coat. Okay, and then let's top coat it. So things looks much prettier and nicer. Cook it in. Do the same on this one. Remove any particles and then cure it. Okay, the other ones are ready as well, so that looks absolutely amazing. And this one we need to finish it off, so I'm just going to quickly place those colors. So yellow here, then we had those turquoise one, and because I have added the fourth color at the end, I have placed it strategically differently, those tips. So doing the 4 colors, you kind of want to do it in the same distances, I would say. Like what I did on the first layer, I had so much, too much yellow, too much turquoise, too much blue, because I wanted to do it on 3 colors, and then I just squeeze it in the purple one. So now this is a correct placement, okay? And then grab the sponge. Just because during me playing here, I could transfer some dust in there, I'm going to clean it off and then blend these colors in, and we will get a much nicer ombre now, because now I've got typically 4 colors in. Okay, but if you're going only on the sides, the colors don't blend nice, so we need to go up and down, like this, up and down, to get the nicer blending. There we are. And then up and down as well. And we've got 4 colors ombre. Okay, absolutely pretty. Let's cook it. And then apply the top coat on those 2 nails, and I can show you the final results. And honestly, guys, I have tried this technique for my clients with the gel polish. And you know, the gel polish itself, like, is the hardest one to on the natural nails, is the hardest ombre to do it, just because the surface of the nail is quite short. So we have to be more careful. Okay, so apply the top coat and cook it. Okay, and then grab the last tip and top coat it as well. So you can see it, how much the top coat is smoothing out the surface. Check for the light, how does it reflect, and then once you're happy, give it a cook. So let's check what we have created. And guys, honestly, you have to share this video. Like, there is no easiest way to do the ombre. Like, no matter, let me grab them, no matter how well you will try different techniques, like, this is the quickest and the easiest way to create the ombre, which looks actually fantastic, like really nice blending here. So we've got 1 tip, we've got 2nd tip ready. Don't want to touch them because I'm always under curing my product. Wow, I love this one. And the last one, and this one is so nice as well because it has more colors, so you can see it, what we have created. I will have to make them nice and tidy, but don't want to touch them with the fingers. Yeah, I hope you have really enjoyed this video. Sending you glittery hugs, and bye for now.